Students, we'll start with the next topic, that is fish production. Okay, now fish is a cheap source of animal protein in our food. Okay, now there are different types of fishes. You have got shellfish, you have got mollusks, you have got prawns, and there are two ways of obtaining this fish. First is you have to capture the fish, that is known as capture fishing, and that second way of obtaining is fish farming, where you cultivate the and rear the fish. So either you capture the fish directly from the source or you rear them, that is known as culture fishery. Now there are two sources from where you get this fish. One is a sea water, that is marine fish, and other is freshwater fish, okay, like rivers, ponds, etc. So first we'll go to marine fisheries. Now we have a coastline of 7,500 kilometers. Okay, so the fishing can be done across this coastline. Turn the page. Now the popular name of this marine fish, that is pomfret, tuna, sardines, bombay duck, these are all marine fish. Okay, and this can be located using satellites and echo sounders, so that it is easily available. We can easily catch this fish where the availability is there. Okay, now there are certain fish which are of economic importance, where you can have, when you sell them, they are of more value than these fish which are bred for the meat. Okay, like mullets, then pearl spots, shellfish, then you have got oysters, okay, as well as seaweed oysters which are cultured for their pearls. Okay, now these marine fish, when we are culturing them, that practice is known as mariculture. So what is mariculture? Mariculture is culturing these marine fish in a place where the demand can be met. Okay, now the next topic is inland fisheries. Now what is inland fisheries? Inland fisheries is freshwater fishery. Okay, now these fresh waters can be canals, ponds, reservoirs, rivers, brackish waters. Okay, where the sea water and fresh water meet. Okay. Now most of the production of the fish from these resources, they are known as aquaculture. Okay, the culturing of fish in inland fisheries is known as aquaculture. Like for marine it was mariculture, this is aquaculture. Now that is done in two ways. The first way is you can cultivate the fish along a paddy field, okay, where the rice crop is grown. Along that rice crop, because the water is there in plenty, there also you can culture this fish. Okay, and the second is composite fish culture. Now both local and imported varieties of fish are used in this culture. It can be this paddy culture or this composite fish culture. Now what is composite fish culture? Now composite fish culture is combination of 5 to 6 species of fish in a single fish pond. Now how do you cultivate this 5 to 6 different species? Depending on the layers. Okay, now there are different zones in the fresh water. You have got the topmost zone, then you have got a middle zone, okay, and you have a bottom zone. So all these fish, they feed at different levels of this water, different zones. Okay, the first one, they are known as surface feeders, which are found on the topmost or the surface zone. Okay, they are known as catlas. Now there are other varieties of fish known as rohus, which feed on the middle zone of the pond or the river. And then there are bottom feeders, that is common carps and wriggles, and certain grass carps which feed on weeds. So all these 3 to 4 varieties, they feed on different zones of the fresh water. Like you have got surface feed, then middle and the bottom. So all these varieties can be bred together. That is why it is known as composite fish culture. Now in this composite fish culture, there is one problem, that all these composite fish, they breed only during monsoon. Okay, now the major farming in the fish is the lack of the availability of good quality of seeds. The fish seed quality which we put for culture, sometimes we don't get what we want, so you have to use hormonal stimulation in the fish. Then only you will get the good variety of fish seed which can be cultured in this composite culture pond. Okay. Now next is beekeeping. Now, all of us know honey is widely used, and for that we rear honeybees. Okay. Now this is a good source of income along with farming. So the farmers, they do this as an additional income. Now this honey is collected from the beehives along with a source of wax which is used for making these beehives, and this wax is used for various medicinal preparations. So if you rear the bees, you have got two things: one is honey and other is wax. Okay. Now the name of the bees, that is Apis cerana indica. This is the Indian breed of bee. Apis dorsata, that is a rock bee, or Apis flori, that is a little bee. Okay, this is an Italian bee variety. So you have an Indian variety, that is indica, Apis indica. Then you have Apis dorsata, a rock bee; Apis flori, a little bee, that is an Italian variety. That is Apis mellifera. So there are three Indian varieties and one Italian variety. This has been brought to increase the yield of honey. Okay. Now how does it happen? These Italian bees have got high honey collection capacity, and they also sting less. So they stay in the given beehive for long periods, and they also breed well. So these are the characteristics of Italian bees. So we use Italian bees more than Indian bees because they don't sting much, they produce good capacity of honey, they live for long period of time, and the quality and the value of honey depends on the pasturage or the flowers which are available for the bees to produce nectar and pollen collection. So the bees, when they collect nectar and pollen, so that is why the quality of honey depends on the flowers. In addition to the pasturage, the kinds of flowers available also determine the taste of honey. So the taste of honey also depends on the flowers. Which flowers the honeybee has collected the pollen and the nectar, that will be the taste of the honey. Okay, thank you.